In a world where feeding the growing population is a mounting challenge, an ambitious revolution is taking place. AI and data science, used ethically, are revolutionizing the global food supply chain to enhance sustainability and efficiency.
So as we think about the challenges and opportunities in the world agri-food system, the U.S. is really well positioned to face some of those. We are one of the largest producers of commodities that feed not only our domestic market, but also the world. We have over 3 million entities that bring food from the farm to the table. Some of the challenges we've seen over the last few years have been logistics disruption, dynamic supply and demand, and there's also an increasing demand for transparency and sustainability. Where does my food come from? How was it produced? Those are pretty challenging dynamics to operate in.
When you talk about AI and data, farmers are really at their core, they're innovators, especially when we talk about sustainability.
We've been generating a lot of data on farm in the food companies as we move products to market, harnessing that and being much smarter with how we utilize that data is really where AI comes in and is going to provide opportunities for significant breakthroughs, better use of those commodities, less waste, and really smarter both farming and food production operations.
There's a lot of waste in food production. All the way through the supply chain, there could be waste, moving product to where it's not needed. Really, what AI can do is to help with that planning process, take in a lot of factors and make sure you're transporting product in the most efficient manner. That whole supply chain needs to be planned, and when it doesn't go right, instead of using a rail car to take the product across the country, they do it with a truck. And so right away there, you're having a much higher carbon footprint.
AI is transforming how we feed the planet amid a changing climate. With every decision point becoming a data point, AI enhances our capacity to adapt and innovate within our food systems, future-proofing the supply chain against upcoming challenges.
There are always going to be challenges. One of the complexities that we see in a dairy world is that milk is not a consistent raw material through time. What happens is the protein content and the milk fat content changes day to day, month to month, year to year. So when you think about optimization models and scheduling and how that works in a production environment, what you're looking at is the changing nature of the raw material coming in. You're looking at the manufacturing constraints of what you can and can't make and what's most efficient to make and how you schedule it. You're talking about efficiencies at the fourth decimal point, 0.001, start to make material dollar differences. It's not a 50% gain, but that last 5%, that's hard to come by, and that makes a big difference.
Having the ability to do passive data collection is one big thing. Now tractors are collecting information on the amount of pesticides sprayed, how seeds are planted. You have satellites collecting images of the fields showing how crops are growing. You've collected the information, and now what the real challenge is, can we make it easy to integrate all that information together so it's not something the farmer needs to do, and then provide actionable insights to them?
With farmers, scientists, tech experts, and AI all working together, we are ever more sustainable, efficient, and climate-friendly. From precision agriculture to supply chain optimization, Ever.Ag Data Labs is impacting the way we get our food, from our farms to our forks.
As we think about being able to be closer or have a better sense of consumer preferences and how that impacts the food production value chain, there is a strong need to take consumer preferences and tie it all the way back to that farming and commodity production set of activities. I think the issue that we see is unifying and unlocking that data has been quite challenging. And so AI steps in and allows us to assimilate that information and then to begin to apply data science to, let's say, clean up and optimize each step of that value chain that historically operated in its own silo.
All farmers are very good weathermen to an extent. They're very in tune with what's happening. If there's a snowstorm coming or it's going to be really hot, they know about it several days before anybody else is paying attention to the forecast. Weather is one of those things we just cannot control. We can predict to an extent, and it's going to impact productivity at every level. We actually have an entire science of cow comfort. When it gets to be 85 degrees and humid, they're having a bad time. And that actually, in turn, can decrease milk production. because milk production really only happens when the cow has got all of their other needs met. If you can leverage a tool like data science and AI would bring to aggregate all of that wonderful data and really allows you to manage animals at a much more precise level. So precision agriculture isn't just in the field anymore, it's in the barn, it's at the feed bunk, it's at the manure management level, it's at nutrient management, it's in everything.
In the harmony of technology and nature, AI is not just a tool, it's a catalyst for a sustainable, nourishing future.
As we consider some of these ethical decisions of AI, we need to ensure that the utilization of AI is serving all stakeholders along the value chains. Are those models being utilized in a way that may bias one stakeholder in the value chain versus another?
If we break that trust, if you violate that, the whole system falls apart.
Another topic that we see a lot of times when people think of AI is this going to replace my job? When you think about labor and the impact of AI to jobs, there's tremendous movements we're already seeing to upskill our existing labor to more of a digital economy skill set. AI and machine-centric solutions can help us improve our labor situation, which continues to be a very significant challenge for agriculture.
That whole view of supply chain planning, if you've got information from the farmer all the way to the consumer, to really start to say, how do I get the right product on the shelf that the customer's going to need with the minimum amount of waste and get it there in the most efficient way? The change that's coming, I think, is about, is the data available and is the data connected? And that's what's going to happen over the next 10 years.
Using AI and data science to feed the world. It's the only way forward. Without feeding the world, nothing else happens.
For more information, visit Ever.Ag.